Hello everybody, welcome back for StarCraft 2 action. It's Oliveira going up against Clem in the semi-finals upper bracket. The Bellum Gens Elite. Terran versus Terran on Oceanborn. The winner, top 3, gets to play against Reynor for a place in the grand finals. Pretty dope matchup, honestly. I mean, it's goddamn Clem going up against Oliveira, previous world champ. And Clem, sneaky boy, puts down a barracks near the main base of his opponent. Now, I think TVT is literally the most unknown matchup to me, because I never mained Terran, and I never took a special interest in the matchup either. But we've seen some great TVT finals over the, well, tens of years at this point. 10 plus, let's call it that. Let's see what happens. Clem gets 1 gas. Is this going to be just proxy double Reaper? Because he leaves no room for a tech lab on the first one. I'm not sure. I don't think this second one is room either. So it just seems like going to be very fast, like double or triple Reaper. And then with 3 Reapers you go in and your opponent probably only has 1, maybe 2. SCV goes across the map here for Oliveira. Is going to spot what's going on or what is not going on. Doesn't find any barracks. Finds 1 gas, checks for the second one. Finds the second one, that's an important timing for him to spot. And does not find the barracks in base, but the barracks could just be out here or out there. So it doesn't tell him everything, but probably does make him pretty defensive. The first Reaper of Clem already runs in, gets hit first by Oliveira though. And the first shot goes out by Oliveira's Reaper, making that fight for Oliveira pretty favorable, but didn't follow the Reaper down. Couldn't because of that mine. Or the Reaper bomb, whatever. Now 2 Reapers are out. Oliveira switched over to Marines because those do build quicker than Reapers. Oh my god, this 1 Reaper on 1 health. Do we have any? No, we have no unit kills as of yet. And the 3 Reaper count has been achieved. 2 more underway. And also a factory at home being created by Clem. He's putting on a lot of pressure here. Loses the 1 Reaper. Bye, little buddy. And the second one gets clicked down as well, dude. The Marines are doing a number here. And now Clem ballsily tries to go up. Oh my god, that was the biggest gamble he could have taken. And loses a full Reaper for that as well. That's 3 Reapers for nothing. Oliveira playing a perfect game so far. I am very impressed that he didn't lose anything there. What? All of his SCVs must be red. Because who did all the tanking? One of the bear... Oh, he actually cancelled and now started remaking this Reaper. Just to keep the units there. Oh my god, the double Reaper runs in. Both bombs go down. The Marines are dead. Oh, the supply depot. Oh, messing up the pathing. Oh, that's cute. If you are here and you click up, the unit will start moving up. But then if you lower the depot or raise the depot... Even though you can't see it, your unit will know. For some reason. The engine just tells him. And so he will start moving down to, like, start using one of the ramps. But then if you lower it again, and Clem is like, huh? You're not doing the behavior I want to do. And you click again, it starts going up the ramp again. And then you can kind of rinse and repeat. Oh my god, Oliveira, though, going across the map. Kills the SCV on the CC. I think he got another Reaper as well. 6 Reapers have died for only 3 Marines. 0 SCVs have been killed. And these SCVs want to save this CC. But this is not the Vanguard. You can't super build. Only have 1 SCV at a time. It's also not co-op where Reynor, I think, gets that ability to... Oh my god, nice pickup, Micro. Both sides. It's kind of like PvP with Stalkers and War Prisms. But now with Medevacs and, well, Budget Stalkers in the Cyclone. Clem holds on. Dude, I feel like he's a little behind. Losing 6 Reapers is not good. 3rd Commands are going down. Getting a Raven here. And Oliveira Already has a tank back at home. Clem, though, is not going to sit down and wait. He's not going to go quietly into that cold night, dark night, the night. Because he's going to do a little drop action. Clicks one SEV. And picks up again. I thought he wasn't going to click on top of the siege tank, but I guess the Marines were here. Clem has found out about the third CC. So what is he going to do about that? He has 4 Cyclones. Clicks on the third CC. It's actually starting to take quite a bit of damage. Oliveira has to try and save his CC. He does so successfully, but a lot of pressure being put on here by Clem. Gets shut down by another tank of Oliveira. Moves back. Both players getting interference matrix. Both players getting those ravens. Shutting down your opponent's raven. Shutting down your opponent's siege tanks. And even shutting down medevacs so they can't pick up and drop. Pretty important in this matchup. Pretty interesting to see this matchup so tech heavy. You go like 1-1-1 and you just get all the units. You get all the units. You get at least one of them, you know? Ooh, one of the Cyclones did go down to the hit scan of the siege tank. Only 3 Cyclones remaining for Clem. Both players have a pretty even worker count, but no third CC for Clem. So Oliveira should be taking the lead here. Is going for double ups on both sides. Or no, it's only +1 for Clem. But double ups for Oliveira. Let's see. Only 1 engineering bay for Clem here. He has 3 barracks. And Oliveira has them as well. He's making even more barracks. Oliveira just has more stuff, dude. Or more infrastructure, more importantly. Do see third CC going down for Clem right now. But I don't think we have to be surprised if Oliveira is going to jump up in supply and just raw army power. Oh, this SCV didn't build the depot because it got blocked. These Cyclones of Clem have been doing a lot of work here. Trying to box in Oliveira, and now an army of Clem is moving across the map. Look at the army count. It is a little higher for Clem. If he can force some army to get into the main, a big attack at the front can do a lot of damage. Look at that. A large chunk of Oliveira's army is moving on into the main base, but the Ravens and the Marines have come back to the third base. Oliveira feels it in his bones. A scan goes down, and that is when you know your opponent is up to no good. Double interference matrix on the tanks. All of the tanks not firing. It's a pure Marine battle. And what a Widowmine, trying to retarget, trying to fire, finally gets a shot on a couple Marines. The tanks of Oliveira start shelling down once they've been activated once again. 2 tanks of Clem do persevere, and one of them can actually hit the orbital. That's going to cost Oliveira a lot of repair money. Bunch of SCVs have also gone down, because those were pulled by Oliveira to stay alive, and now double siege tank action hitting the orbital. You might want to, yeah, lift that. And now air superiority goes to Clem, actually. All of the Ravens of Oliveira died, but Clem kept them alive. And now this is a precarious situation for Oliveira. Clem could put a lot of pressure on here. Pinch him where it hurts. Kick him where it hurts. Oh, and Oliveira pulls the trigger. All of his siege tanks move forward slightly, start sieging, and the Marines run in for the Dominion. And they do take down that position of Clem. The anchoring point has been taken down, and Oliveira claims his third base as his own. The other side of the map, though, Clem has secured his third base. So that puts them on even ground, economically speaking. Clem even ahead in workers. But Oliveira is skyrocketing ahead in upgrades. A little dropsy by Clem, being annoying. +1 for siege tanks is even coming out. +1 vehicle weapons. So I think the big timing here for Oliveira is going to be when that 2-2 hits. he's going to have way more upgrades on the bio department than Clem is going to have. So if he has a large chunk of Marines fighting the Marines of Clem, there the advantage will really shine. Clem, of course, will want to make sure that the tanks are going to be the difference maker in this game. Now, Oliveira does have more tanks, but if Clem, for example, can get air superiority, or just the better position to start with, he can maybe hold on to the game here and equalize later on. The longer the game goes, eventually the upgrades will equalize. And if Oliveira has 80 workers and you have 75, that's not as big as a problem when he has 15 and you have 20. You know, percentually speaking, it's kind of like his Smash Brothers. When you have 3 stocks and I have 2, if we trade 1-to-1, that trade is really bad for the guy being stocks down, because suddenly you're 1-to-2 instead of 2-to-3. Which suddenly I'm doubling your stocks. Or the other way around. I'm not sure who's who in that example. 4th base for Clem going down. 4th base for Oliveira is already flying over. Now, Clem did start his 2nd upgrade for bio as well. So you can see that this window only exists for about 30 seconds, where Oliveira is going to have more upgrades. And Clem has been focusing a lot on having a big army, and of course did get a really good trade at the 3rd base, keeping him in the game. Sensor towers are going down. Wonderful buildings. They should probably remove those from the game. I don't know, I just think they're a little weird. Not offended by their existence, but... You know, the giant white circles on the map, I feel like a part of the skill of StarCraft is having units there to spot. You can just build a building. But they did propose a change to make it, like, smaller. Which I do like, because then I like it when you put it in a corner. So you can see if something is, like, hovering there, waiting. Because spotting that area, you need to either scan it, float over in our barracks, or, like, have a Viking patrolling or something. It's a bit more expensive than sending out 1 Marine like Oliveira's doing here, spotting the attack of Clem, moving into, well, a potential 4th base location, now a potential 5th base location for Oliveira. And this is an annoying spot to give up, because then you don't know which ramp he's going to move up. Clem, that is. Oh, look at how deep the siege line goes for Oliveira here. But look at the upgrades. They have equaled up, and it's Clem that's still on the offensive. He has been focusing so hard on just pushing out the army, dude. He's been macroing like a beast. Has a slightly lower worker count, but both players are max, so it's actually going to start favor the player that has a slightly lower worker count, because then you can have a slightly higher army count, and also the command center explosion. You can replace your SCVs with mules, so you can have even bigger armies. Another Spadra Marine tries to run for his life, but doesn't bother to stim. His war on drugs is still going strong. 4 CCs underway for Clem. Do you even have room for that? Where do you build those? You should be allowed to upgrade your main orbital for like 500 minerals to get a 2nd dish. Just get a 2nd dish. Just like build an add-on, you know, like a 2nd dish. Or just the scan add-on. Comsat from Brood War. If you're allowed to build that for 500 minerals, and it just gives you double energy capacity and like double energy regen on your orbital, would save a lot of space. Because now you just have to build so many CCs, but that's also kind of cool, right? Base building, in the end, is one of the cooler parts of, well, I guess RTS in general. Slowly but surely, though, we are 14 minutes into this game, and both players are rapidly expanding across the map. Only 4 bases on the map not contested as of yet. And the weird upgrades are getting out. Building armor. Now, this is an opinion I held, but I never got polarized so hard on it until I watched a Hearthstone video about the new patch, where I think they lowered planetary armor from 3 to 2. It was like, I think buildings with armor, especially because of the upgrade, is dumb because it counteracts the upgrades and kind of the natural progression of the game, and you're making static things stronger with that upgrade. Oh my god, Oliveira actually just going for it, gets a lot of nice interference matrices, and all of the tanks, and his own tanks are still intact in the back, just shelling down Clem. The Marine War's been won, and just like that, Oliveira just finds Clem out of position in his own, like, third base field center area. And just like that, the game ends. Oliveira, he's like, he needed one little whiff of blood, and he was in there. Like a ninja shuriken, just nothing personal, kid. And the kid does go down to Oliveira. I was yapping. I'm like, yeah, we're going into late game. I can talk about how building upgrades counteract like the marine upgrade, and because of that, the game actually becomes more campy, because one of the cool things is feeling the power progression of your units in anything, in any video game. And buildings are a great benchmark. Early on, a hatchery is pretty tanky. Later on in the game, you have +3 attack, you have a lot of marines, you have stim. Suddenly that hatchery isn't so tanky anymore. But Oliveira said no. Focus on the game, bro. And takes game number 1 with a swift, blitzkrieg-esque assault on Clem's domain. And for game number 2, we load up into Crimson Court. Oliveira versus Clem, and Oliveira taking down Clem in that first game, where honestly Clem was just fighting and fighting and fighting and clawed his way back into the game after falling behind ever so slightly in the early game with his double proxy racks play. And Oliveira just kind of sitting back. He knew, I have my upgrades earlier, I have my 4th base earlier, I've got my infrastructure earlier. Didn't macro smoothly, but I took the one good fight, the one correct fight, always kept my siege tank count hella high, and just the quality of army in the end was slightly higher for Oliveira. And, you know, we all know that I'm Mr. Pay attention to the game at every point, so sorry that I missed the start of that fight and couldn't set it up as well. But it is what it is. It's a live cast after all. Clem puts his 1 racks in his main base. Starts a Reaper. Oliveira's like, huh. So now you do build your racks in your main base. How come? How come it wasn't there the previous game? Oliveira's not going for a fast CC here. Going for a second depot and a factory. Clem going for an expansion that Oliveira has seen. Factory is coming down for Clem right now. 1 Reaper on top of that ramp. 1 Reaper on top of that ramp. It's almost as if it's universal in asymmetric games where if you walk up a ramp without vision, you're gonna be sad. It's always gonna be sad. It's sad when you do it in Dota. It's sad when you do it in StarCraft. Just walk up this ramp and there's like 20 stim marines just waiting for you to run up. Now let's see what Oliveira's gonna do. He's gonna make a Cyclone, kind of the jack of all trade unit right now. In TVT especially. We also see it in TVP a bunch, where it kind of nullifies every Oracle opener, which is why they're trying to change it again, or at least the plan is to change it. As of this recording, the new patch hasn't been finalized, so the PTR is still testing it out. Second Cyclone coming out, and Clem is also going for Cyclones. 3rd gas underway before the orbital's even done. I'm never gonna get used to that. Terran is such a mineral-intensive race, except for the mirror, where just getting all of your techie units out ASAP seems to be very important, or at least viable. Pretty cool, I've got to say. But if I'm a Zerg player and I scout this, I'm like, okay, this guy's playing mech. There's no way he's doing anything else. Double cyclone drop from Oliveira going across the map here. Now we do have one Reaper going across, one Reaper going to scout this medevac. Clem saw it on the minimap. His units are in position and they don't lose vision across these golden minerals. And Clem is going for gold. Look at the pickup Mikra. Hot pickups all of his cyclones forward and almost catches the entire drop of Oliveira. Now we did see this Reaper get into the main base, and the last grenade actually takes another SCV with it. So 2 SCV died. 2 SCVs died. Now it's Clem's turn to do a little drop action. Now Oliveira's drop isn't back home yet. This could be a lot of damage. The Raven gets targeted down. The auto turret comes down. The one Marine goes down. Another Marine gets picked off. And this is a pretty nice value drop for Clem so far. Is going to encounter the drop of Oliveira. It comes back to haunt you in your dreams. But, oh my god, the pickup right through! Oliveira keeps both of his Cyclones alive. 4 health, 8 health, and 15 health. Oh my god. I'm surprised Clem didn't lose everything. Like, if you and me were playing this game on the ladder, our medevac would have flown into those 2 Cyclones and just died. Wouldn't have even been on the screen when it died. We would be like, huh, something's happening here. And we click, and our unit is already dead. And we're like, oh, well, rats. But no, not Clem. He was there. And he saved one of his Cyclones, even threatened to kill the entire drop of Oliveira. I take it back. The Cyclone drops are cool. I thought Cyclones, kind of a lame unit. I can say that, you know, everybody's gonna agree, but... Medevac Cyclone? That's kind of cool. Oliveira going into early Vikings this game. Triple Viking. Oh my god, they're both doing it as well. Both have 2 Stargates. Both of them have their second starport behind the natural. They both studied the same replays, or... one of them studies the other? Or they kind of both converge to the same truth, I guess. It makes sense, right? If you see somebody else do this and they're like, oh, I built my second starport in the natural, then when you think about, oh, I need a second starport, it feels more logical to also build it in the natural for some reason. Oh, Clem is pushing in whilst being dropped at the natural. The drop has been held off pretty convincingly. Enough units were brought up, but 7 SCVs had to die for that. Who has the upper hand in the Viking war? Both have 6 Vikings. It's hard to see. Maybe it's more, oh, no! You saw the death of that medevac in the corner there. It just flew into the army. Little F2 action, Oliveira. Can't have that. Oliveira trying to stand his ground at his field center. Protecting both his new fourth or his 3rd base. Whoa, we're not that far yet. Medevac drop is going out for Clem, and if he can maneuver around here, pull the attention of Oliveira away, he might be able to do some damage. But the Vikings are moving in and going to intercept this medevac. They found it. They kill it. Oh my god, Clem, that feels bad. That's 8 Marines and a medevac down for nothing. But that just happened to Oliveira as well when he flew in with his 2 Cyclones and a medevac. Oh, but is Oliveira slightly out of position? Look at this frantic movement of the siege tanks. He doesn't know. Can I still go here and siege up? Because he doesn't want to get in range of these siege tanks, but the siege tanks aren't in range yet. Oliveira pulls the trigger. All of the SCVs, the boys, they're going out. All of the tanks except for 1 can't fire. 2 siege tanks of Clem are allowed to fire. The auto turret goes down before it can target down the tank. 2 tanks of Clem still firing, and now all of the tanks of Oliveira are back up, but the tanks of Clem are also back up, and they are shelling down everything that Oliveira loves. But Oliveira does have air domination, and the game goes on. It gets prolonged. We have more tanks for Clem, but we have air superiority for Oliveira. That's 7 Vikings to nothing. Well, 2 in the tank. So both players are still in the game. Dude, Clem just hitting those macro cycles. He has too many SCVs on his third base even. Like, a little bit of pressure. Oliveira had to pull some boys. He defends his third base, but Clem builds his own, and he builds it better. He builds it bigger, and he made Oliveira pay for it. More barracks coming out. Let's look at the upgrades. None have completed yet. 9 minutes into the game. Completely different to game number 1, where the upgrades actually came in as an important point, but both players have a very similar game plan on this map, which leads me to believe that it's just the go-to build or style to play on this map. And, well, both players are basically top-of-the-line Terrans, so it's gonna go one way or the other, right? Either one of them innovates a new build or their own build, or one of them copies the other one, or they both copy somebody else's build but perform it better. And Clem knocks on the door once again. Let's see who is the one who knocks. Who is the real Walter White in this game? Clem again conceding air control and conceding this position. Moves back, but does build a 4th base behind it. Oliveira's doing a similar thing. Very interested to see what is a good 4th base here. Taking the center one feels good to take the center of the map, but getting tanks behind your 4th base feels bad. So, do you move to a corner? It's pretty difficult to defend. If you get the center, then this 5th base is very nice. But Clem clearly sees that taking the map here is going to bring him a lot of advantage. Because it's going to be difficult for Oliveira to fly this CC. See, it's literally done, and he just doesn't know where to fly it. Well, I can also not really fly because of the Vikings will probably shoot it. Oh, Vikings can't quite one-shot the Liberator. The Liberator shots. A lot of splash damage goes onto those Vikings. And once again, Clem gets told to get out of here. You have no air superiority here. SCV gets sent out to check. Dude. Oliveira somehow has time to pull back this SCV as if he's watching it like a hawk. And as I say that, the SCV gets completely annihilated down the ramp. He goes. And Clem tells us that the middle base is a pretty good base. Probably because he has map control right now. Oliveira going for the bottom right base, mining out these sweet, sweet golden minerals. Going for the double gas right away. And, oh my god, the upgrades are so close. I guess the vehicle weapons for Clem are a little ahead. Now, I think the +1 tank is the most important one. I think it helps you kill Marines. But I'd have to check to be sure. Which is what my brain tells me, but I don't know the numbers. Oh, Clem, does he get a sufficient position on the 4th base of Oliveira here? Oliveira thinks so. He moves back, re-sieges. No Thors in sight to deal with these Liberators. And, I mean, I feel like Oliveira has more Vikings, but he's just move commanding them. Oh my god, all of those Marines walk into the Shredder. That is Clem's land right now, and this Dead Man's Land proves to be fatal for a lot of Marines of Oliveira there. That might have just been one twitchy mistake coming out of Oliveira. He stims in, runs his Marines in, and just gets them all evaporated by all of those tanks with +1. And maybe that was the difference maker, that those Marines should have survived way longer. And maybe Oliveira clicked a tank like 2 seconds earlier. Big interference matrices and all of those tanks, but Oliveira does not have the backbone, does not have enough men to throw at this war. This is not Russia, this is Oliveira's domain. And Clem just crunches it all up to a pulp. And takes the game on Crimson Court in a pretty swift fashion compared to game number 1. And a pretty dominating one at that. Clem, the map was his, never really had any air domination until the last few seconds. And it kind of felt like Oliveira fell apart here. That just a small mistake here and there lost him a little bit too much ground. Didn't contest the air quite as well as you should have. Then this Liberator cut into position. The Marines came out. The tanks at +1. And it just kind of fell apart. Like he had it in his hands and then it slipped away. And now he has to fight for the love of his life in game number 3. And here we are for game number 3 again. The semifinals go to the last match. It's a best of 3. And we load up into Alcyone. With Oliveira losing game number 2. Sending out SCVs of his own. Going to give Clem a little bit of a taste of his own medicine. By proxying a bunch of barracks. Let's see how Clem likes it when it happens to him. Now before the action kicks off, guys, I want to request to you, please, if you like watching these videos and you want to see more, subscribe to my channel. It's fine if you make an alternate account and subscribe with that channel if you don't like to see them in the inbox. I just like to see the number go up. And might enable me to keep doing this in the future. Thank you. Sorry for the annoying call to action, but it has to happen. Oliveira, trip or double racks on the map. Has the one gas. Second one will be coming out shortly if this is going to be double Reaper, but it could be the Tech Lab version. I was kind of hoping for it, honestly, but it's not going to happen. It's going to be the double Reaper version. I like the Proxy Marauder because it's cool. Marauders are like the big chunky boys, you know? Kind of like Kashtira Ogre or what's a more apt reference? Like a Yeti? Like a... What's the 4/5 Hearthstone card? The Yeti? I don't know. It's kind of like just your classic chunky boy. He's pretty slow, but he's big and he does good damage. Yeah. You know, he's the Flak Trooper. Reaper of Clem goes out onto the Xel'Naga Tower. Oh my god, and a CC has started. And this SCV is not long for this world. Gets shanked right away. And Clem has 2 Reapers of his own, but they are split on the map. And Oliveira gets into the main base. SCVs are pulled. This factory gets damaged for good measure. Oh, a nice bomb. Gets a nice hit on that SCV. Slight miss micro by Clem. But he holds on. That CC still alive. Sometimes you cancel it and you just start remaking it in the main right away. But instead, Clem is going for the defense. Oh, that's 4 Reapers, though. Another SCV goes down, but the Cyclone is here. And the Cyclone is big. He's bad. He has the armor to sustain the damage from the Reapers. And wow, somehow 2 Reapers died. And now Clem has more Reapers than Oliveira. Somehow, someway, the aggressor always loses more Reapers. Maybe this build is just bad. But I can see how you can win a lot of games with this on any stage, on any ladder, in any league, because your opponent has to make a small couple mistakes, and everything just dies. One move command where you want it to A-move. There goes my army, and we've all done that. We've all panicked, move commanded our entire army into the opponent after like a long-ass game, and you just kind of go... You're just sad, dude. You're just sad. Just... It's not even disappointment, it's just despair. Like, I'm almost tearing up, holy hell. It's like... Fought so hard all game. And then you hit the move command instead of the A move. Oh. Clem is knocking, but Oliveira knocks right back. Clem knocks on the door and Oliveira comes out with a bat swinging. And the Cyclone War gets decided by Clem coming out on top with one Cyclone and a medevac. And I mean, Clem Reapers are dangerous, but Clem Cyclone medevac combos could also be dangerous. Or at least considered that. Oh, the Viking has landed. Does bonus damage to mechanical, but it's pretty low HP. The SCVs come in for the repair. Oh, the Cyclone did get a lock. One SCV actually blocks the Viking from shooting. Goddamn SCVs. The Viking needs to get a pushing mechanic, just like the Ultralisk. Oh, wrong targeting on the Viking. Didn't target the low health Cyclone, and now two Cyclones are alive. More reinforcements coming in from Clem, and Oliveira struggling for his life. He has a tank. He has a Marine. He goes for the siege. That is quite dangerous, but if Clem walks into it, he will get a lot of damage. Gets a Liberator as well. And he defends his natural. Can't lift it off just yet because it's still transforming into an orbital. Now the tank comes forward, goes for the siege, and gets a couple nice shots onto the army of Clem. Gets a Cyclone kill as well. Clem thought he could walk out there without having to pick them up. Also, his Viking was terribly low. And 3rd CC coming out for Oliveira. Sorry for the coughing sometimes. I suffered pneumonia at some point, and it's just... Sometimes it's a little worse than other times. I grew up living next to a steel plant. There's only one in the Netherlands, so that tells you where I grew up. Apparently that's not good for your lungs. Both players going for that 3rd CC. Interference Matrix coming out for Clem. Do we also see it for Oliveira? I don't think so. No upgrades as of yet. And he's going for medevacs. So he's prioritizing his starport time to pump out more medevacs. Maybe focuses more on bio, just like Marine tank style. He's getting stim already. And he's going to have stim way earlier than Clem. If he meets Oliveira, meets Clem in the middle of the map here and just stims on top of him, he can definitely just kill him, but instead he's going for a double medevac drop, almost filled to the brim with Marines. And those Marines, they got their drugs. In my mind, it's always like chocolate laced with cocaine or methamphetamines, kind of like the Second World War style. But Clem starts just sieging. There is a big drop in the natural, though, Clem. How are you going to deal with that? He has no reservations, pulls the boys right away. He's like, I just don't want to pay any attention. I don't care if I lose a couple SCVs. Double interference matrix goes down. One tank goes down. Second tank gets clicked down, and only one tank remains for Oliveira. The natural has been lifted up. A bunch of damage has been done in return, but the reinforcements of Clem did deal with it. And Oliveira has been boxed into his main base. Now, if you push a cat into a corner, it can make some weird jumps, but I don't know which type of jumps Oliveira can make to get the outcome that he prefers. He's going for Vikings, going to be pushing away these Ravens, and with that, perhaps, we'll start getting a nicer position. Gets a couple free pop shots on a Raven, very nice. These Marines can only find, like, this Marine. Or see the reinforcements coming, I suppose. Maybe they can, like, stim forward, kill one tank. Clem still holding on his position, keeping the contain alive. And Oliveira sees the reinforcements coming. He knows he has to break out now. It's now or never. He breaks out, but the tanks are not in range. And Oliveira, GG's out, did not have a medevac to, like, drop these tanks further on into the battle. Instead, sieges up on the ramp. His whole army kind of clogged up. And Clem, with a wonderful position and more reinforcements to come, forces the hand of Oliveira. And Oliveira could not resecure his natural, could not claw his way back into the game like Clem did in game number 1 on Oceanborn. And Clem taking a very much deserved victory here in this best of 3, the semifinals of the upper bracket. Moving into the finals to play against Reynor, the kid versus the other kid. It's a classic. We love it, and that will be a best of 7. Yes. I mean, by now, most of you have probably seen it, but I have not, so I'm going to be enjoying that a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching. Before you go, let's rate the series. Let me know down below if you agree or not, but this was a pretty goddamn good series. I wouldn't call it a classic for the ages, but it's definitely... I'm doubting, is it a 6 out of 8 or is it a 7 out of 8 blue minerals? Because as far as a best of 3 goes, I feel like the first 2 games were really good. This third one just barely fell short, but we saw some nice moves. I think this series is better than I can make it because my observing sucks. I want to give it a 7, but I don't think it's quite that. It's not an 8 out of 8, but... yeah, I think it's a 7 out of 8 blue minerals. It was very good. And, like, as soon as you start talking about an 8 out of 8 blue minerals, like, you're already kind of talking about, like, a golden mineral rating, right? So, let's just give it its due. 7 out of 8. Lock it in.
Locked in.
With that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure you like, subscribe, comment, like the video. Make a Reddit thread. That would be cool. Do whatever you need to do. I just, important thing for me is that you're watching, and I appreciate that a lot. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.